Hi, writers. Okay, so we are in the final week, week five of experimenting with essay forms. But don't worry, as you know, or I will remind you, the class is extended 1 week because of the issues with the videos that have been happening. So I actually was okay with extending the class a week because this lesson on the hermit crab essay is so huge that this could take a few weeks, just this one in itself. So let's go into it. The hermit crab essay. A hermit crab is a strange animal. It's born without the armor to protect its soft, exposed abdomen. And so it spends its life occupying the empty, often beautiful shells left behind by snails or other mollusks. I always have trouble with that word. It reanimates these shells, making of them a strange new hybrid creature that has its own particular beauty, its own way of moving through the tide pools and among rocks. Each one will be slightly different depending on the type of shell it decides to inhabit. In honor of these wonderful creatures, Brenda Miller and Suzanne Paola dubbed a particular form of lyric essay the hermit crab essay. And I want to show you a picture again of the hermit crab. It's so cute. Within the recent explosion of creative nonfiction, a curious new subgenre is quietly emerging. Hybrids in the truest forms, hermit crab essays borrow their structures from ordinary, extra literary sources: a recipe, a police report, a pack of cards, an obituary, a questionnaire, a syllabus, to use it as a framework for a lyric meditation on the chosen topic. In the best examples, the borrowed structures are less contrived than inevitable, managing not only to give shape to the work, but to illuminate and exemplify its subject. Brenda Miller, one of the writers who coined the term hermit crab essay, wrote, "Hermit crab essays adopt already existing forms as the container for the writing at hand, such as the essay in the form of a to-do list or a field guide or a recipe. Hermit crabs are creatures born without their own shells. To protect them, they need to find empty shells to inhabit. A hermit crab essay borrows a form, a container, or a shell for the structure of the essay. I've read essays in the forms of recipes. I've written one actually in the form of an official document, glossaries, and other surprising forms. The container or the hermit crab shell that you use can be an extended metaphor for what you're exploring in terms of content. There are so many containers you can use: the eviction notice, a memo, tweets, status updates, dictionary entries, reports, lawsuits. I showed you an example of a Google Map essay by Dinty W. Moore. The forms are endless, okay? This kind of essay appropriates existing forms as an outer covering to protect its soft, vulnerable underbelly. It's an essay that deals with material usually that seems born without its own carapace. The material is so soft, exposed, and tender, and must look elsewhere to find a form that will best contain it. So often these essays are, the subject matter is really, really soft, a vulnerable subject matter, and so you need something to protect it, and that is where the hermit crab structure comes in, okay? So in the next few pages, you will find samples of various hermit crab essays. I know there are many, so take your time with them. If one doesn't catch your eye or is more confusing than anything, move on to the next one. Don't harp on like getting one, okay? Pay specific attention to the ones that intrigue you and make you want to try them out. Which ones are they? What is it about them that interests you, okay? So there is an essay in the form of a case study, an essay as a recipe, an essay as a how-to guide, an essay as a quiz, an essay as a diagnosis and treatment plan, and there's also a story on how the author came to this specific form. There's an essay that uses clickbait titles as a structure. Hello. An essay that uses seashells as a structure. An essay that as a campus discussion. And there's also finally an essay as major requirement guidelines, okay, for a master's. Which I found that one fantastic. Finally, I am giving you an image, hermit crab generation. It's different ideas for hermit crab essay structures. That's it. That's all, folks, for week five. I know there's a lot of material. This seems like it's fast, but there's so much there. Dig into it. Hermit crab essays are fantastic and my favorite. There is also a book that I'm recommending. You can find it in where the reading materials are. And I'll show it to you later. All right, have a good one. Bye.